Budget Builds is back. What an epic series it was last time, but the thing is, the Terrano barely even made it home. We definitely have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, we have a huge weekend ahead of us. I don't know if you guys remember from the last episode the little bag of tools we used. This time, it isn't going to cut it. I don't know if you can notice, but we're in a different location. We'll get more into that later on. But we have a huge list behind us of things that need to be done, not only just to fix the car and get it driving, but we actually have some I don't know how to describe them.
Dodgy mods
Coming up. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get into this episode because it's going to be an interesting one.
Thoroughly set myself on fire.
Season 2 has finally come around, and I knew going into this season that Bridgie and I both had to step up our game a little bit with being creative with this vehicle, but also fixing some major issues we had. But to do all this meant I couldn't build it in my carport. This time you're gonna see Bridgie and I traveling all the way to Newcastle with a budget build to get this thing built, where we spend 2 weekends, day in and day out. And I mean, we don't get sleep. We worked so hard to get this car looking how it is right now. So let's just say, I'm very tired right now. Despite what the public may think that this trailer itself and everything in it looks like it's going to the tip, this actually is everything that we need to build this car.
Yes, but this is truly budget build parts though. From wrecking yards, materials, we're gonna make things ourselves. A lot of it's broken but can be fixed. It looks crap now, but I'm
excited.
I'm excited, yeah, like.
Look at
You can't tell me that this doesn't make you happy. Like, oh, there's so much.
There is a truck airbox in there. I wonder how we're going to fit that in the engine bay. Don't worry, not an issue anymore.
Yeah, but basically, you can't, it looks a bit like a mess, but we have been pretty smart about it. We've got things that are really smart and safe for Kate, like a bull bar, completely necessary. We're going to make some sliders. Wind it up.
Okay.
So we do have all of the necessary things to make the car ready for Kate. We have things to fix what's broken about the car, but then we've also bought some materials because we kind of started to run out of money, so it comes down to make it yourself.
And we have some cool ideas that we're really keen to actually, you know, make ourselves.
Yeah.
We kind of have to make them ourselves because it's not something you can buy off the shelf.
Yeah.
All right, let's get inside.
I just want blue notes, I just want euros. Smoking on good though, whistle from Pluto. Price it like Saturn, I ring. Paying on my table, there's nothing you bring. I just want blue notes, I just want euros. Smoking on good though, whistle from Pluto.
To assemble part of the bull bar, it's got to lip onto the top of the chassis, and at the moment you won't be able to get there, so I'm going to try to cut this off. Look, don't expect it to be tidy, but that's a budget build car, so.
Don't get a hobby, counting these racks in my pastime. Call back on me, take a tramp, email with a tragedy. My bitch, you look a masterpiece. I'm gonna try to go cavity. If 12 ask me questions, ain't telling shit. I just don't get to the bedroom.
Because this is our second time doing budget builds, and Bree and I know each other better than ever before. We really worked in our strong suits. Bree is, we all know, so much more mechanical than me, and I still have so much to learn. So leaving her in the engine bay with the space and the tools to be able to fix the problems that she said that we had with the car, but also not trouble me with the problems, and just her focus on that, meant that I could get the measurements and sit at the bench for hours and weld everything together and put the car together on the fabrication side. Don't know what else to say, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna leave Bree at the shed. I'm only running because it's raining, or I'm just that excited. Budget builds. No, I'm leaving Bree at the shed because I'm gonna go to the steel place and buy some more steel because I need to make some adjustments to get this Hilux bull bar to actually fit to the Terrano. Also got to go to Repco, pick up the new radiator that is ready, and then I'm gonna buy an air horn. We've asked Zach for a lesson how to rig up an air horn to a brake. So every time Matt puts his foot on the brake, we want the air horn to go off. So I'm gonna see if I can buy 2. It's price dependent, but I kind of think it's worth it. So I'm gonna race there now, and first stop, steel shop.
That's how you do it.
All right, cha-ching. I've got the piece I need. Now, oh, don't scratch the car. Now I'm gonna go and pick up the radiator. That's timed pretty well because I'd rather pull the radiator out before I put the bull bar on, you know what I mean? Like convenience and stuff like that. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. Hey, so are you sure you want an air horn? Because one is $62.
Yeah.
You want two?
We'll just go one for now. We can just rewire the normal horn to the master.
Okay. All right, no worries. I'll get it. Okay, yeah, we'll get one air horn as well. I can't get out the door. It's just so embarrassing. Considering that. That just costed $225 for the radiator. That's annoying. It's not too bad. He did actually bring it down a bit because we had an account, so that's okay. Not much though, and then $50, so it was like $1 off. For the bloody air horn that Bree's just like, we have to have it. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go back to Bree now.
So, it's all buggered. Everything is completely buggered. I kind of like the car. The thing I don't like is this front end setup. It just moves way too much. So obviously when everything's sort of moving, everything is flexing and moving, and when it stops, it's quite abruptly, and it puts a lot of pressure on the wishbone and everything that runs through this car. We're actually removing one of these ball joints completely. We're gonna knock it out, hopefully put some kind of bush in there, if not use some solid bar, drill that out and put a high tensile bolt to stop so much moving. With doing that though, it's gonna put more pressure on this idler arm itself. I do have a bracket made up to sort of reinforce it and give it some support. If we have time, we actually might even just brace this arm itself a little bit more to strengthen it, because that will now become the weak point. I'm hopeful that this is all we need to do for Kate. In terms of the front end, there's a long list obviously besides this, but if we can get this front end, the car is driving, because at the moment it doesn't drive, so we need to fix this, which I should go do that.
We pushed it out. We've got a piece of bar we got from HVS for near nothing.
Yeah.
Just some scrap. We'll turn it on the lathe to fit it in there, knock it in. We'll have a hole cut out for a high tensile bolt, and then you'll just bolt it together and
hopefully fix all our problems. You guys are probably wondering, who the hell is Zach? Well, long story short, at the Sydney show a few weeks back, I was tuning the Terrano at the show, and Zach sort of come up and said, you know, what's this, whose car is this? Explained it was Bridgie and I's. He actually has owned a few of these in his lifetime, and I've never met anyone else that's owned a Terrano before. So we got talking. It turns out he's an expert on it. So he was kind enough to let us use his workshop, come in here and give us all the knowledge he has about these cars, why we're coming up with all these ideas and how to find the solutions to our problems. So he's now a new best friend. He's actually a really, really great guy. He's been so helpful. I can't believe he's letting us come and use his workshop. He's showing Bridget how to do everything. So we're getting on the tools, we're learning a heap while fixing the car and getting it ready for Kate.
Box delete.
The loose box, like the sloppy box, it's not good in any circumstance.
I don't know what you're talking about. So you've got a better box to put in there though, don't you?
Yeah, like a really tight,
yeah,
like not second hand, so sloppy second box.
Yeah,
like
okay. Hasn't copped a flogging.
Hard work to enjoy them.
Got it.
Oh, box removed. Yes.
The minimum of
Two-
fuss.
Hey, if we say the
2
word,
days
if we say BOX one
Bridget.
more in this episode,
I
we're
know.
gonna get cancelled.
Alright, so obviously this is a budget build series, so we had to hunt around for the parts. That's where we found our tyres, our bull bars. Facebook Marketplace is so good for this stuff. But also so is scrap yards, and you know, if you go into the steel places and rummage through all their offcuts and stuff like that, is a way that you can be really budget friendly when building vehicles. So Bridgie and I had the intentions to just go through all the steel shops we can to find all the parts that we needed. We were just very fortunate. The first one we went to actually had everything we needed, and pretty much all of it was in offcuts. I think there was one sheet that we actually had to get cut, which wasn't very expensive. So yeah, trying to keep it budget friendly. It's best to shop around, guys. Facebook Marketplace, going to get secondhand parts. Not everything has to be brand new. So that was something that was really on the forefront of Bridget and I's mind with keeping this budget down.
So, try to see my vision. I want to make some sliders for the car. Funnily enough, this is exactly the length that I needed, and I found them at the scrap yard. So I've got 2 of these. I want to make some sliders. The only way I'm going to be able to make sliders, I'm like really green when it comes to mechanics, but I do have a little bit more knowledge with fabrication just because of my Hilux and stuff. So this is something that I think I want to make because I want this car to be protected, last a long time, as well as bash plates and stuff. But the thing is I need certain tools to be able to do it. Last episode, this was never even an option. I need, you know, certain machines, welders, and I need a hoist because I want to be able to work off the car, considering I'm going to weld it straight to the car. So I'm really grateful that we have this workshop. And also, while on the topic, you guys know this, Bree and I aren't a build channel. We're like the opposite to Sam Isles. You know, we're an adventure and four-wheel driving channel. So to be able to have access and the equipment to be able to build cars like this does come with a lot of things that we need. So we're really grateful that Zach's been able to open up the shed for us over the weekend so that I can use the parts, because the only way this budget build's getting done is if I have equipment, and we have that here. So I'm going to work on sliders and then bash plates, and then I think I might be ready to put the bull bar onto the car. But yeah, let's get fabricating.
All right, a little bit of a aircon delete. We are now Cape ready, typical TD, need to allow more airflow. New.
This is nice and fresh and necessary and boring.
Yawn.
Boring. I've actually finished my jobs for the day and I really want to go home. So now I have to help Bree finish her jobs for the day so that we can leave before the sun comes up.
Good morning.
What are you doing?
Hello Bree, good morning. It's early and I've only had one coffee, so we'll see how this goes.
And like, what, 5 hours, 4 hours sleep, if that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing right now?
I'm just prepping the chassis because I want to just weld the sliders straight to the car. I just want to get that done nice and early today, so I'm just getting them ready. What was I going to say? I can't even remember now.
I think you've rambled enough in the morning, get back to work.
Yeah. Like I said, only one coffee.
Okay, I think this is the first thing we've like fully completed so far. It's just gonna go back in the car obviously, but this was one of the main issues with the Terrano. You're probably over me saying it by now, but buying the vehicle, realizing the weakest point was the front end, and this was the situation. So we've done that, we've completed it, it's time to get it back in the car, which I'm excited because I'm hoping this is gonna solve all our problems. Now look, the way we've done it, it's not a bad way at all, but it's gonna get us through Cape, and that's exactly what we need. And I'm kind of hoping that this fixes all our problems. I've learned a lot. I'm excited to get back in the car and actually drive it and see how it goes.
Woo! Let's do that.
Let's do that.
We have a Hilux bull bar going onto a Terrano, so the mounting points don't work perfectly, so I'm making some alterations so that the box can go on. I'm just going to make my own plates, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, boring until you really see what I'm going to do. Like I said, the chassis is ready to go because the sliders are going to get welded straight to the car. And then the next plan would be the bash plates. So hopefully by the end of the day, those 3 things are done on and look great. I'm just going to pop them straight onto the car. You're probably wondering why I'm straight welding them to the car. 1 time, 2 strength, 3, can't be bothered to make brackets that bolt on and off because I don't have time for that. I don't really want to come up for air until it's done. So that's my plan for now. I crushed it. These are really good sliders, and I welded them on perfectly. Like feel free, the next car show, come and take a look at my car. Boys, other YouTube channels, you can hire me. I'm $175 an hour if you want anything fabricated. Oh, he's not doing it for me.
You're like, no, I swear. This doesn't look good.
It's probably not how you do it, but I'm just trying to get, we're doing twin stainers, so we sort of want them to match. So I'm just trying to get some measurements, match the other side, because this is the side we're figuring out we're going to fit through some certain things. So do this side first, make that side match.
This is a piece of our old dump pipe. This is a piece of an exhaust that we found at a wrecker's. If you put this with this, we've made some slits so we could bush bend it. It's cracked and all sorts of terrible, but if we put these two pieces together, this is the exact bend and degree that we need to come off the back of the turbo here and shoot to the side guard of the car. Why? You can probably guess why. I'm not going to say it, but...
Alright guys, so Bridgie and I are back in Newcastle. We arrived here yesterday pretty late and we worked till about midnight last night, so we actually didn't really intro that we're back this weekend to finish off the budget build. But we're back at 4-Wheel Drive Industries. The car's still in a million pieces. But we're working hard at it. It is now midday on Saturday and we are hoping to have this car driving by lunchtime tomorrow, and hopefully have it on the trailer behind me, towing it back to my place, getting ready to take it up to Sunny Coast and then start the journey to Cape. So yeah, it's our second weekend. I thought just let you guys know, it's probably a bit of confusion, but yeah, we're hard at it. Hopefully have this car driving in the next 24 hours. Let me quickly show you how it currently looks though, because you might question if we're gonna get that done.
You owe everyone a favor. Watch the population rise. And if you want them to like you more, that only cost you who you are.
Okay, Brie, you've test fitted it. I get the point, but I don't love what it looks like, and I know that we had the idea of potentially cutting off the hoops, so yes. I've got all the gear, I'm prepared to cut them off, but I want to leave there would be a hole in there. I want it so that I can use it to mount something.
What are you mounting?
I don't want to tell you.
If you want to do it, you need to tell me.
No, but if I tell you, you won't let me do it, so like, could you just trust me for this one thing, please?
I will trust you.
I'll pay you $100 if you just let me leave it.
There's gonna be a time I'm gonna call in a favor.
Fine.
Alright guys, so we haven't given you much of an update. I guess we've just been working on the snorkels for a while, but they're getting close to an end. And if you look to my right, we actually have a bull bar on the car.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the car is starting to take some shape, which means we can start thinking about other things. We brought a winch today. We're on a budget, so we buy Kings. But it's just what fits in the budget, all right? I'm actually intrigued to see how this goes. People say Kings are crap. I've run one before. I feel like they're hit and miss. I mean, if it survives Cape, it can't be too bad. But if it doesn't, well, then I guess that's speaking for itself. Anyway.
How much?
$380 or something. It was actually on special. Like, it wasn't that much of a special, but it's on the cheaper side. It's better than spending $1,000 on a winch. Anyway, I'm going to start unboxing it because we still have to, we're just test fitted? Oh my God. We just test fitted the bull bar, so we still need to, work out the cradle, get the fair lead on and things like that before we get up to fitting it. But that's where we're at. Update us.
What do you want?
Update on what's in front of you.
Okay, update. The winch is on.
On what?
Our bull bar.
It's done?
Our bull bar is done. Our bull bar is painted. We've kept the center hoop so we have some protection. We don't want to run outside hoops because we like hoopless. We've got these here. Can't tell you what for. You'll just have to learn next episode. But I'm very excited about that. The winch is on. Number plate is on. The bar is painted. It's ready to go on the car. We had to make brackets, blah, blah, blah. It was a long story, but now we're here. The control box for the winch, it's pretty tight. To be honest, it should probably be mounted on the outside, but like that's disgusting. So considering this car is like the most attractive thing you've ever seen, we have to figure out a way to make it work. So we're gonna mount it sideways, but to be able to get to the remote plug, we're going to punch a hole here, run this literally as you see out here, so that we can get access to it if we ever were to need it, especially going through water crossings and stuff like that. Hole saw right here. I'm going to drill that out, and then we'll be able to put the control box on. Once that's on, we can put the bull bar on. Is that right?
That is right. Getting all sendy. Getting close.
We are really getting close.
We are in the final hours of working on this budget build in Newcastle. We need to get the car driving by this afternoon. It is getting towed to Sunny Coast this afternoon, but we'd like to be driving it onto the trailer and have majority of the work done. So when we continue the work at Sunny Coast, we just got a few things like wiring up the winch and the radio and gauges and stuff like that. That's easy, but we still have a lot to do, clearly, so I'm not sure how we're going to go, but we'll see.
Squeeze this into there.
Just for people watching at home, I find it really funny that they're trying to make that look good. Like, oh, I don't want to do it like this because that might not look good, and then that's what they've got on there.
Slides into that easy. You'll have to do that anyways.
Get out of it, Brody.
And then maneuver it until it sits.
I think it adds character.
It definitely adds character. I don't know what kind of character, but it's definitely got heaps of it.
Has to, because if you run this dead straight,
Well, we'll find out what everyone thinks about it very soon.
Yeah, we will.
Alright guys, I'm shocked to say that we're doing something other than the snorkels. We're actually changing some oils, which is concerning because I dropped the gearbox and found a chunk of metal in it. And I've been informed that these gearboxes are renowned for not just breaking, but exploding. So yeah, that's gonna be great at cake. So I now have to have some mechanical sympathy towards the gearbox, but I guess I can learn to do that. Otherwise, the car's coming together. I reckon once we do these oils, we fix one of the ball joints on the arm, I think we can start it. We'll see. So I adjusted the fuel screw, but we didn't know if you want in or out what was like adding more fuel. There's no soot, so clearly there's not enough in it, so we're just going to play around with the fuel screw for a little bit, try and get some more fuel in it because it's gutless, it does need like adjustment. So that's what we're going to do right now. Alright, I can talk now. Alright, good morning. Actually, joke's on us, we didn't go to freaking sleep. It is currently, let's look, 3:55 a.m. We're getting there. We've got gauges going in. Let me go show you where Bridgie is. Give me 1 second. That car, rooftop, Bridgie's in bed. Bridgie went to bed maybe like 1:30. It's now 4. We're still going. We've made some art. Yeah, gauges are going in.
My hands are shaking. There's too much caffeine.
So many coffees down, so many Red Bulls down. Water temp done. That's nearly all the gauges. We're I saw it was like midnight and we're like, just turn the key over. I'm like, we'll go for a test drive. It's like 4 hours later, we still haven't gone for that test drive. We've been doing other stuff. So we're not far off actually taking it for a test drive and then coming back and doing our wheel alignment and putting coolant in it because it's only got water at the moment. We still needed to bleed that system. And whatever else we need to do after going for a test drive. Oh shit. Anyway, we'll get back into it. This is the first test drive. Obviously we've done a lot of work on it. We want to see how it goes. I don't know how this audio is going to be because we did put an exhaust right there. It is a little bit loud, but it's not that bad. We're just in the car park at the moment, just testing it because we've done a lot of work on the steering. So obviously don't want to take it out on the main road straight away without, you know, doing some safety checks first. But anyways, we're gonna just do a bit of test driving around this car park, might take it for a run up and down the road, see how it goes. And let's hope our hard work has paid off because I think it's like 6 o'clock in the morning now. We're meant to put this on a car trailer in the next half an hour and head back home. So let's hope we can do that. All right, test drive went a-okay. Have some things to do, but we had a really pretty sunrise this morning. How does it feel to practically do 24 hours on a car?
24 hours?
We're getting close to.
I think we're closer to 72.
Straight. Anyway, time to clean up the mess. I don't know if I'm game enough to wake Bridgie up yet. All right, let's get back in the shed and clean up. We'll pass the door.
This was the craziest 24 hours experience that we've put ourselves through. It was probably the highlight of the whole build experience, but it was definitely the biggest punishment. To watch the clock actually tick down, knowing that we were running out of time and seeing a car need to be test driven and completely pulled apart. It was wild. It was a team effort. It was blood, sweat and tears. I got about 2, maybe an hour and a half worth of sleep in. And when I woke up the next morning, they were turning the key off the car from the test drive, loading it onto the trailer for me to get into the car and drive it to Sunny Coast to put the last bits and pieces of the car together at Sam's. I'm not gonna lie to you, we went jet skiing and fart-assed around too much because the weather was really, really good. But we now have a complete car. A car that I'm quite proud of and I think is gonna not only do Cape well, but probably win.
I guess when you're doing those long nights, when you're working off adrenaline and excitement, you're getting so close to the end, time just ticks over and you don't even notice. But this was one of my favorite build series. I enjoyed the last one. I love this one even more, working closely with Bridget. She was actually there the whole time for once. But it was so much fun and it was more exciting because we're building this car for Cape. I've never been, Bridget's never been, and we get to share this experience in the one car that we've built together. And I'm super excited. So after we finished that night, it was time to load it onto the trailer, get up to the Sunny Coast. We still had a couple things to finish, just like our bed frame packing and whatnot, but the car was driving and it was ready to go and I couldn't be more pumped to get to Cape.
Okay, so it's about time in the episode that we give you the prices and all of the details and how we managed to put this car together. We didn't do it last episode, so we promised that we would do it this episode. Bree has everything that we've spent the money on, and I don't even know, are we close? Are we fully on budget or are we just under?
We're like pretty much, I think we have like $11 left.
Okay, $11.
Because we actually got a freebie in all the stuff that we got.
We didn't cheat.
We didn't, which was our truck airbox. The most expensive thing that we had to pay for was our rego and insurance. That was $1,068.60.
Oh, that hurt.
That hurt a lot. Next one was our booba, $150. And then the next thing was something broke in our car, which was the radiator. It actually split, so we're up for a brand new one, and that was $229, which actually isn't that bad. And then the next thing that stung a little bit more that broke in the car was the starter motor. That was no good, and I thought best replace it before we go to Cape rather than trying to rebuild the one we had.
We didn't have time.
To save the travels.
Yeah.
That was $386. We have an air horn we brought for $52 that we haven't put in the car. Next I've got is $117.40. Now this is for the steel we got, $610. Now this was on our stainless bends and piping, and also there was a $150 charge there for the bender hire that we borrowed as well. $398.95, and this was actually spent on a winch. $300 for workshop consumables, $66.34 on the exhaust flapper. $461.21, and that was spent in total at Autobarn. $153.70 that was spent at Bunnings. $169.95 that was spent at Burson's. $63.99 spent at Super Cheap as well. And then we have $90 that I spent at Outback Equipment because I brought some uni filters to go over the snorkel head because Cape's gonna be really dusty. So I did buy a couple of those.
Also, the Max Trax mounts. Didn't we get them?
Max Trax mounts.
Yeah, we got them from Outback Equipment too. I mounted those this morning.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is like bringing us just under $5,000.
Wow. Go us.
And we included rego and everything. It is now time
to go
to Cape York.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm everything.
I'm more excited than nervous. I used to drive the car like I didn't care about it, but now it's grown a soft spot. So I not only want it to do Cape, I want it to do it well, and I want it to come home safely. I've never done Cape, you've never done Cape, so this is going to be an absolute experience. We leave in 12 hours.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.